Let's talk about Constance Marten. She is the aristocratic heiress, got a load of personal private money, you know the type. She's been hanging out with this guy called Mark Gordon. He's an American, and he came over here and they had a baby and they went on the run, and the poor little thing died while they were living off-grid in tents. They've both been convicted of gross negligence manslaughter following a retrial last month. Now, this woman, Constance Marten, there she is on the left if you're watching, she caused havoc in her trial, stamping and screaming and demanding this, that and the other, to the point where the judge was, almost literally tearing his hair out. He said he's never seen anything like it. So she sort of parted company with her aristocratic family, but she still thinks she's the Queen of Sheba or something. And apparently she's now residing in a prison called HMP Bronzefield. Gordon, meanwhile, is locked up in Belmarsh. They're awaiting sentence. And apparently she's causing absolute mayhem in this prison, shouting, screaming, disturbing all the other prisoners, demanding this, that and the other. I say, listen, Constance, you're in prison now and you can't behave like this. And if she carries on, I say, that's a solitary confinement cell. Spend a couple of weeks in that and come back to us. Discipline her, for God's sake. Let's talk to former Met Police Detective Chief Inspector Mike Neville. Hello, Mike.
Yes, hello, Kevin.
I mean, we've got a problem here. This is indicative of, I think, what goes on in a lot of our jails, male and female. They have descended, if you like, into becoming holding pens, warehouses for lawbreakers who are just kept inside them, and pretty much allowed to do what they like. But this woman is apparently causing all sorts of problems, will not do what she's told, shouts and screams, causing havoc for the wardens and the other inmates, and very, very full of herself, the big I am, I'm an aristocrat and all this kind of thing. What she is a lowlife, a horrible little lowlife, a moron by the sounds of it, who has been convicted of this horrible offence, gross negligence manslaughter, as she and her boyfriend Mark Gordon, an American, flitted around the country living off-grid in tents at the wrong kind of time of year, and the poor little tot died. So she's a scumbag, she's a lowlife, and being allowed to act as if, she's the queen of the castle. Well, I think the prison should turn around and say, right, we've had enough of this. That's the solitary confinement cell. Get in there. We'll let you know when you're coming out. How about a bit of discipline for this woman?
Well, we could do with a sort of within these walls for whoever's old enough to remember the prison scene.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Googie Withers. Googie Withers was the star. Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Mackay could be posted in there, because I mean, this woman is dreadfully entitled, isn't she? And she's cost the country a fortune and the life, most importantly, the life of that poor little baby. And she's already had 4 of children taken into care. At her trial, she went through 14 different barristers, and we all paid for those through a bizarre behaviour, entitled behaviour. And now she's got to prison and she's behaving like one of these women who feels that they can complain in Waitrose or Marks and Spencer.
Yes.
She doesn't like the food, and she probably think the other inmates are some form of trash, whereas she is a bigger trash than any of them, and she'll have to be careful because no one in prison likes somebody who kills babies. And so I think the best thing for would be to put her in solitary confinement, get her disciplined, it's all the psychological stuff really, isn't it? Break her down so she knows that she's not in charge. It's the actual prison officers who are in charge. But I'm afraid, Kevin, that as soon as something happens like this, to be some human rights lawyer jumping in, it's like we read in the paper, you can read on your screen there that she's been barred from contacting or writing to Mark Gordon, the man who did these evil deeds with her. But I have no doubts that somebody will jump in and be paid a fortune by our government to sue us and tell us that they can meet, or not meet, but discuss on the phone or write to each other. It's just a stupid situation we've got to, where discipline in prison is just broken down and these people can behave like this.
Yeah, and apparently she has been busy writing to this guy, Mark Gordon, who was her American boyfriend. By the way, their daughter, it's such a sad story, little baby Victoria, spent most of her life in a little bag for life, a little supermarket bag, and then died because it was so cold. So these people are, in my view, the ultimate lowlifes. And I think that Ms. Marten, Constance Marten, who is the heiress to a multi-million-pound fortune, apparently, you know, is a typical trustafarian, does very, very well, got lots of money. Apparently, she's been writing to this guy. Apparently prisoners are allowed to write and contact whoever they like. Well, apparently this means that they can actually intercept the letter and not let it be sent. But, you know, why are they allowed to write to anyone they like? I mean, why?
They can write whatever they want, but the censors will get hold of it and stop it. I mean, I had a great case where a bloke wrote to another. We gave him a photograph of him robbing a bank as part of the trial, and he sent it to his mate saying, "Look at me, here's me robbing the Tooting Abbey National." So sometimes intercepting letters can be very useful if people are allowed to write to each other. So sometimes intelligence can be gained, but in this case, there's no intelligence to be gained. They're not involved in acting criminality. So there's no reason at all for these. She can write these letters if she wants, but they just won't be passed on.
Yeah, and as I say, I mean, I suppose you've got to wait for, well, I mean, from what we're hearing, I mean, she's just been impossible, as you say, moaning about the food, moaning about everyone else, shouting, screaming, demanding this, that and the other. It sounds to me like she should already have been shown the door to the solitary confinement cell, shouldn't she? I mean, what is it with the authorities in prison that they haven't even got the backbone to discipline an unruly lowlife like this woman?
Well, the whole prison structure has changed, hasn't it? You know, people, you know, hark back to the days of like Porridge, where Mr. Mackay and the prisoners clean the floor and he walks over it with his dirty boots and they have to do it again, and they sort of learn who's in charge. It's a bit like being in basic training in the army. You soon learn who's in command and that you're not. And this is what's got to be done, but it's a cultural change that's happened over the last 2 or 3 decades. And know that, you know, that you've got a ridiculous situation where the prison officers are told to call people by their first names, or Mr. this and Mr. that. And the prisoners have got so many rights, they can just take advantage. Whereas in times past, the prison officers were in charge, discipline ruled, and we had a lot less trouble. And one of the big things is, of course, you need some people ex-military in there, I suppose, to get a grip of this. But they would soon deal, Googie Withers and the like, would soon deal with this silly woman.
Yeah, those were the days, mate. Those were the days. Good to talk to you as always, mate. That's Mike Neville, former Met Police Detective Chief Inspector. This woman, Constance Marten, needs to be put in her place. By the way, Constance, if you're watching, you're not an aristocrat anymore. You're at the bottom of the ladder. Get used to it. And you should be treated as such. I think your crime is disgusting. God almighty, just let that poor little kid die in a supermarket bag. What kind of an excuse for human beings are those people? Absolutely revolting.